this is Ken. I like making things. Every new year, I like to reflect and look at everything I've made. I started 2022 with a figure that desperately needed help. At that moment, my mindset was, there's no way I could make it look even worse, so it was worth a try. And I'm glad I did. The final result looks amazing. And this was the moment where I realized that I can drastically change how a figure looks. I'm glad I did Quicksilver because it gave me a lot more confidence in my own abilities and made me feel less anxious about ruining a figure. So let's have a look at my favorite customs. Another figure that desperately needed a couple of coats of paint was Thor from Love and Thunder. That gold they used was terrible. I also thought the design looked too goofy, but with the right metallic gold paint and a few touch-ups, the figure actually turned out amazing. In fact, it is still my favorite Thor figure. I ended up loving the over-the-top look of his. Gorr from the same wave was also disappointing. He just didn't look menacing. A quick black wash and changing the pupils to gold transformed the figure from meh to awesome. There's so much character sculpted on the face. It is one of those figures that you can tell a story with just the face. Another one of my favorite customs is the Black Adam figure. I stared at the figure for at least 20 minutes at the toy store, debating whether or not to get it. The figure looked alright, but also not that great at the same time. I ultimately decided to get it because I felt like there was a potential for it to be better. This is what I do when I buy figures now. I ask myself these questions. Do I want it? If it's a no, then my question becomes, can I fix it? In this case, it was a yes. But I didn't expect it to go that well. It's still one of my best face customs in my opinion. He just looks so real. Sinister Strange is another one of those figures where I didn't want the original figure, but I saw the potential. Hasbro didn't release a Sinister Strange figure, so I thought I could make my own custom using the Astro Strange figure. It was a fun little experiment to test my own painting skills. Most of the time, I'm only enhancing what's already there, but for this one, I pretty much had to redraw the entire face. It's not perfect, but I really like the final result. I love all the unique looking Stranges. Another figure that I'm super happy with is the MJ figure. The original figure came with an outfit that I don't recognize, so I decided to change it to her outfit from the end of Far From Home. I really like the black and white look of hers, and the final result looks 10 times better. I did borrow America Chavez's legs to complete the look though. Speaking of Spider-Man, I was avoiding the black and gold suit Spider-Man figure forever, because Tom Holland gets like 2 new suits every movie. I only wanted the final suit of each movie, but this was a highly requested one, so I accepted the challenge, and decided to go beyond and gave him his gauntlet and cell phone too. I didn't like the original figure at all, but the final version has grown on me to the point where I think I like this figure just as much as the integrated one. Hulkbuster is one of my early Marvel legends. I wanted it so badly, and it's awesome. However, the overall plastic look had always bothered me, and I finally felt comfortable enough to make it more metallic, after doing a bunch of Iron Man, and now it looks 10 times cooler. Speaking of Iron Man, I did my first permanent physical alterations on my Mk85. I edged some crack lines onto the armor with a knife. My heart was pounding when I was doing it. It felt so irreversible, and it felt like every stroke had to be right. The final look could have been more damaged, but it's perfect in my eyes. And because I did that, I felt more comfortable physically altering another figure, especially on a knockoff Defender Strange figure. I got myself a Dremel because I could only do so much with a knife, and boy oh boy, this was epic in my opinion. The quality of the knockoff figure was terrible, so I had pretty low expectations going in, but this has gotta be one of my top 3 customs. I know it's missing the cape, and I'll get to it, I promise. Another new thing I tried was the epoxy putty. I had been using air dry clay for some stuff, but it's brittle. I wanted to try something that's more sturdy, so I tested it on Venom's toes. They could have been better, but I can see the potential with the putty. I just need to learn how to sculpt it with tools. Oh, and I just love how slimy he looks in the end. This is currently my favorite Venom figure. I recently tried to putty again on Shuri. I have the original non-screen accurate figure. I knew I wanted to give her movie accurate colors, but I also wanted to try the putty again, to give her jaw piece and braid. And it worked. Now I'm excited to see where I can use the putty next. And lastly, of course, my favorite custom has got to be the Scarlet Witch. I normally don't buy the exact same figure twice, but I love the WandaVision custom so much, I didn't want to ruin it. I think I did an even better job with the Multiverse of Madness version. There's pain behind her eyes. I did this before the movie came out. I'm surprised it's mostly done accurately. It is a bit on the purple side, but that's okay with me. And of course, I'm biased. My favorite display is the Wundagore display. This one is a relatively simple display, except for the statue itself. I originally did a print of it, but I wanted it to look more 3D. And from afar, it looks amazing, especially with Scarlet Witch standing in front of it. Once I finish Death Strange with his cape, I'll add him to this display. You know how sometimes there are figures that you just don't know what to do with. They're cool by themselves, but they get lost on the shelf. This is how I felt with my Pokemon Amiibo figures, and now they all have a stage to shine on. Similarly, I felt like the Gorr figure needed something to enhance its presentation. So I made a mini Shadow Realm display for him, and he now looks like the Gorr from the movie. And this is one of the reasons why I started this channel. I want to make sure all my figures get the well-deserved spotlight. Sometimes all they need is a proper stage. Like the Black Panther statue. It's technically just a giant prop, but all my Black Panther figures look so cool in front of it. Another reason why I make displays is to recreate specific iconic scenes. And the Age of Ultron display has always been one of those dream displays I always wanted. It's a little busy if I put everyone on it, but if I narrow it down to just the Age of Ultron figures, it looks epic. Now all I gotta do is start my Infinity War display. One day. And here are some of the little things that I just love. Anyway, this has been a very fruitful year. I got to test out some new techniques and new tools. There's still so much I haven't tried and learned, so hopefully I get to try even more new things this upcoming year. Another thing that I noticed is that some of you mentioned you started customizing your figures after watching my videos, and that makes me feel warm and fuzzy. My videos aren't meant to be detailed tutorials, as I feel like I'm still pretty new to customizing and there's still so much I haven't learned myself. But I'm happy to see that my videos have inspired you too. In my opinion, nothing beats the feeling of looking at the one-of-a-kind customs that's unique to you yourself. And it goes both ways too. Your comments have also inspired me to continue making things. Your support truly means a lot, so thank you for watching my videos. Before I sign off, quick question for those who live in Canada. What's the most cost-efficient way to ship things from Canada? I'd love to be able to do commission work one day, but I need to figure out how to ship things without it costing a fortune. Let me know down below. Alright, as always, stay inspired and I'll see you in 2023. I can make it, so can you.